Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to a discussion on big sounding chords for the acoustic guitar. We're going to just look at C, D and E in open position. C chord, D chord, E chord. Now the normal way to play those chords is just as I fingered them then. The C chord was a 5-string chord, C, E, G, C, E. D was also a 5-string chord, A, D, F sharp, and open E is a 6-string chord, E, B, E, G sharp, B and E. So we've got this sound. A really simple way to fatten those chords up is to have a look at what note we can play in the bass of the chord. Now I recommend that for the C chord, if you want to get a big, fat, huge sounding C chord, just change your finger grip a little bit and put G on the bass, 3rd fret of the 6th string. Use your little finger to play the C. And now we've got G, C, E, G, C and E. Listen to how big this chord is. That's a massive, big, fat C chord. When we go to D, put your thumb over the top of the neck and fret F sharp on the 2nd fret of the E string. Now you can strum a 6-note D chord. So F sharp, A, D, F sharp. Big sounding D chord. Now E already is a big sounding chord. It's a 6-string chord. But have a listen to the first version where I'm only strumming 5-string versions of C and D, and then the second version when I do the 6-string version with the altered notes in the bass. So here's the first version. Now here's the altered version. Hear that added richness down low. Now interestingly, like on a piano, the notes in the left hand that a player uses, the bass hand of the piano, can have an enormous impact on what's happening in the overall sound of the melody happening on the right hand. On the guitar we need both hands to play the same series of notes. However, if we analyse one of the reasons why the second progression sounded bigger and fatter was not so much that we've added an extra string into the chords. What we've done is we've added a sort of counterpoint melody in the bass. When we played the C chord, the bass note was G. When we played the D chord, the bass note was F sharp. And when we played the E chord, the bass note was E. So the bass is actually descending G, F sharp, E, while the overall, the right hand of the piano in the chords in this case, is ascending C, D, E. So up on the high strings we're getting higher, and on the low strings we're getting lower. And when we put those two together we get that great big fat sound. That's a really simple example of the power of choosing the best note to play in your chord grip on the bass. Now finally we'll just have a look at another chord progression. This time we'll only fret the 5th, 4th and 3rd strings on the guitar, and we'll play an E chord. So B, E and G sharp, that's an E chord. We'll go up to an F sharp minor chord. Have a look at what I'm doing there. I've got C sharp, F sharp and A. Still only the same 3 strings, F sharp minor. Now we'll change up to a G chord. Look at the shape I'm using there. It's like an E chord shape, but I'm getting rid of my index finger. So here we've got a D, G and a B. So E major, F sharp minor, G major. Really good chord progression. Now if we add a constant note in the bass this time we're not going to move the bass, we're just going to add an open E to those 3-note chords. we've got a big fat sound there. And all the bass guitar player's doing is going. While the rhythm player is changing. Sounds really big. That's only a 4-note chord. Because what we've got there is an F sharp minor with an E in the bass, a G major with an E in the bass, and we've got an E major and it already has an E in the bass. Now, if we want to really fatten out those chords, let's add in the 2 thin strings, second and first strings, the notes B and E, to the 4-note chord progression we just did. So we've got an E chord, a 6-string E chord. Now we've got an F sharp minor. Listen to this chord, an F sharp minor with an E in the bass. But now with the E up high, we've got an F sharp minor 7th with an added 4th and an E in the bass. Now that's a mouthful. It's easy to play on the guitar. It's just 3 fretted notes. But listen to how incredibly interesting that chord sounds. Big and fat and expansive. When we go to the G, we'll keep those 2 drone notes going. So we've got the E in the bass as a constant. We've got the B and the E up high as a constant. So here we've got a G 6th chord with an E in the bass. Now, listen to this progression. So there you have it. Big, fat sounding chords on the guitar based on clever use of the lowest note in the chord and also the use of some drone notes up high in the chord. Hope you've enjoyed that, perhaps learnt something new. Bye for now.